What can be said to describe the current state of Jay White? Once the hottest free agent in all of pro wrestling, now just another guy in AEW. It's a shame that AEW hasn't been booking Jay White consistently, or as some fans think they should. When it comes to being a complete package, White fits the bill. He can cut a great promo, he is excellent in the ring, he's got all the looks, and most importantly, he can be a great storyteller. Jay White is a main eventer, but poor creative decisions have left many fans wondering, has AEW failed Jay White? With that being said, let's see what went wrong in Jay White's first year in AEW and how the company can fix it. Hit the thumbs up button and subscribe. Let's get into it. Jay White's proper run in New Japan Pro Wrestling began in late 2017. He immediately went after top guys such as Hiroshi Tanahashi and Kenny Omega. White would soon join the Chaos faction, and he would go on to defeat Kenny Omega to win the IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship at the New Beginning in Sapporo in 2018. White soon joined the Bullet Club and even got a victory over Kazuchika Okada at Wrestle Kingdom 13 in 2019. Things got better for Jay White as he went on to defeat Hiroshi Tanahashi to become the IWGP Heavyweight Championship a month later at New Beginning in Osaka. Despite having a short reign, White would soon have another accomplishment in his resume as he became the IWGP Intercontinental Champion after he defeated Tetsuya Naito. In 2022, White defeated Okada to win the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship, and it was at this point that he would make a real presence in AEW. Jay White first appeared on AEW programming in early 2022, but it was his short stint before the first Forbidden Door pay-per-view that properly introduced him to pro wrestling fans who didn't keep up with New Japan. Before the event, Adam Page wanted a shot at the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. Adam Cole wanted the show to be all about him and Jay White, but White refused to put his title on the line against Cole and Page. It was White's promo leading up to the Forbidden Door show that showed that Jay White could be a star in North America as well. Jay White successfully defended his world title against Okada, Page, and Cole in a fun four-way match. After losing the world title to Kazuchika Okada at Wrestle Kingdom 17 in 2023, Jay White wrestled his final match against Eddie Kingston in a loser leaves New Japan match at Battle in the Valley. White entered free agency, and it was becoming apparent that he would either be heading to WWE or AEW. Signing with WWE was a major possibility as Vince was no longer in charge of creative and Triple H would have treated White well. Reports began to circulate that WWE was interested in signing Jay White, but a rumoured talent hiring freeze by WWE allowed Tony Khan to capitalize on the whole situation, which led to Jay White signing with AEW. After signing with AEW, White wasted no time in reuniting with former Bullet Club member Juice Robinson to form Bullet Club Gold. The Guns would join the stable later on as well. So how was Jay White's first year in AEW? Let's get into it. Let's look at the positives first. White had great matches, especially those tag team matches he and Juice Robinson had against FTR on Collision. The 2 out of 3 Falls match that those teams had might be the best tag team match of 2023 based on just in-ring performance. White also had a strong showing at the biggest AEW show of all time, All In, where he teamed up with Juice Robinson and Konosuke Takeshita to defeat Adam Page, Kenny Omega, and Kota Ibushi. Jay White also got to be in a main event feud alongside MJF in late 2023. When it comes to the positives, that's pretty much it. But when you say it like that, it sounds like he was busy and involved. Featuring in a great tag team match, the biggest show of the year, and a world title program sounds like the features of a great first year, but it doesn't tell the full story. The negatives are a bit more glaring in Jay White's case. When it comes to feuding with MJF, White never felt as a big threat as he should have been. The company decided to take the predictable and boring route of having Jay White steal MJF's AEW World Championship, and on top of that, MJF was more concerned in finding out who the devil was rather than paying full attention to Jay White. The match the two had at Full Gear was way overbooked. An injured MJF being an underdog and defeating Jay White was just way over the top. This should have just been a straight up wrestling match, as booking an injured Max to beat White did more harm than good to Jay White. Things had to get better for Jay White, but sadly they didn't. White and the Guns went on to win the Ring of Honor World 6-Man Tag Team Championships, and that didn't really mean much as there are countless championships in AEW, let alone an AEW Trios Championship. After a temporary alliance with the Acclaimed, White and the Guns defeated the Acclaimed to unify the AEW World's Trios Championships and Ring of Honor 6-Man Tag Team Championships at Dynasty. That wasn't anything special as the match took place during the 0-hour pre-show, the second pre-show Jay White had been involved in. Jay White also suffered a loss to Billy Gunn via disqualification on Dynamite, and you know just how terrible that booking decision was. Jay White seems lost in AEW, but my question to you all watching this is there still hope? The answer is pretty simple. In the short term at least, get Jay White out of the trios division and make him a singles performer once again. Jay White featuring in the trios division is probably down to Juice Robinson being injured, but still, how Jay White has been booked at times within this is still not good enough. Jay White comes across as a natural heel, and he is at his best when he's allowed to do his own thing. Look how great Swerve Strickland is right now. Things worked out for him because he's doing his own thing and he's allowed to be himself. Jay White should be placed in hot programs against the top baby faces of the company like Adam Copeland and Eddie Kingston. On top of that, Jay White should rack up some notable wins too. Surely losing to a 60-year-old Billy Gunn does not do you any favors at all. The main event scene is stacked right now. If Ospreay doesn't win the AEW International Championship at Double or Nothing, which most likely he will, then Jay White should be given a chance to have a run with the international title once his stock raises again. It seems like Ospreay would be going after the AEW World title anyway, sooner rather than later. Not all hope is lost. Jay White is still 31 years old and he has proved that he is capable enough to be one of the top guys in the company. Tony Khan should take notice of the entire situation and he should start booking Switchblade Jay White much better. But now it's your turn. I want to hear from you guys. Do you think Jay White is buried, or will the cream rise to the top and the best of Jay White in AEW is still to come? Share your thoughts in the comments below and remember to like the video and subscribe. And if you want another video on AEW top guys, check out this video about Mr. Reliable, Jon Moxley.